Hi, my name is David Paul Mavia, and this is the Squad Report, the School of David Report. The School of David Report revolves around three worlds: the world of spirituality, the world of popular culture, and the world of modern marketplace. In the School of David Report, I have written 8 essays or 8 micro essays. I have written about OpenAI meets former Apple designer. I have written about personal positioning protocols. I have written about granaries, flash disks, and curating in Africa. I have written about data, ID, and revenue in Kenya. I have written about cultural diplomacy, norms before currency. I have written about podcasts, info knowledge hubs, and I have written about the Plugfluencer. Now, since these are micro essays, they're not very exhaustive. So I decided to invite David Umbura, the Chief Communication Connoisseur of Galaxia, so that he can become my CSBO, which means my Chief Sounding Board Officer, so that I could explain to him about each and every micro essay, what I intended with it, which means the video part of this hard copy are slightly much more longer. This is the hard copy, but we have the digital copy, PDF, which can be obtained by just sending us an email at info.schoolofdavid@gmail.com. I want to invite you to be part of this journey. I do this document once a month, covering topics from those three worlds: spirituality, pop culture, and modern marketing. While you're at it, please take time just to subscribe to School of David, follow us, and share with somebody who might be interested in these ideas. So see you in all the 8 videos. This is David Paul. I came up with this term called Plugfluencer because I combined plug and influencer because of an emerging, I was calling it an emerging marketplace archetype. So where did we begin? We began in Nairobi in the age of hawkers. In the evening, when you're going home, a hawker positioned himself or themselves in a particular place with their guineas ready to run just in case. So there are always wars between, there's always a war between a hawker and a city council who? So, but we, the public were enablers. Because these hawkers were, because these hawkers were important to us. The concept of the word hawker, they say, comes from at least 2 concepts. Hawker is seen as those guys used to go and hunt with hawks, the bird, the hawk. Wow, so they have a vantage point of seeing the prey they're going to hunt for. It comes from what we call Old English, or what we call the Germanic languages, because what we call current English came from what we call Germanic languages. So anyway, so for me, when I was checking out this thing, our Kenyan version is also not so bad. Our Kenyan version of a hawker is somebody also who is selling, but one eye is that direction, just checking. So they're very chap guys. And they're intruders. I'm using the word intrude in a polite way. Intruders of legitimate spaces. So they legitimately occupy spaces illegally or illegitimately, if you could say so. 2 things. They're in a legitimate space, and based on the city council, illegitimately. So that's why there is runner. So they are passersby. Their customers are passerbys. These guys have a high risk threshold. I'm telling you, they're a case study. Because they signal you. How do they signal you? They signal you by songs, wooing, reputation, chants. So they call you out. And you respond. You respond by So it's their way of wooing customers. They're doing sales and marketing at the same time, and they're doing accountants at the same time. They're managing their business security at the same time. And their CCTV.
That's really versatile. I've never thought of it in that perspective.
So now the reason why we go to them is because most of their products are cheap, or so we think. So their products are affordable, and they're affordable because these guys know the source.
Exactly, true.
So they are what you can call lower part of the pyramid mavens with information. So affordability, they know the source, and they can access the source. So access the source, and then affordability. So when we were growing up, we used to say, I know a guy. Or used to say, let me make some 2 calls, and then I'll get back to you. And then it is associated with, I have a secret or where to get a thing, or I have a secret of where to get an affordable and something affordable. It graduated from just being street smart people. Now, when the internet came, social media came, now we had what we call the influencer. But when influencing began, it began from an elite perspective. So we have these guys on IG most likely, or FB, who are known for something else. They were known for something else, but because they were desperate entities or companies who are desperate to move their merchandise, they could contact these people to associate with their products or services so they can influence the public to buy their stuff. So technically speaking, when influencing began, it was a bit elitist. But now with the influx of social platforms, influencing has become a common thing.
Yeah, anybody can become an influencer.
So it has moved from elitism to it has now become democratic.
Very democratic.
Yeah. But influence, the concept influence comes from the concept also of influenza, the disease. Influenza was a disease, it's true, but it was influenza because of how fast it could spread.
The speed.
Yeah. So when we were growing up, we used to say market Mavians, people who are sneezers, because when you sneeze, somebody can catch a cold. So the hierarchy of influencing began with things like taste, style, and reach. So now we have influencers in particular demographics of markets, luxurious influencers, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in jewelry, So you have to understand those things. So you are backing on somebody's clout to sell a product. Now, plugging came in. A plug actually is also a guy or a lady who knows. I know a guy. A plug is a connoisseur or an expert, one who understands the intricacies of markets. We can call them in Kenya panyaruts. I want to go to Gikomba and buy sneakers.
Yeah.
Because the guy is at Toy A, they're asking me for 4K. The guy at Toy B near Kibera are asking me for 1,500. But most likely if I go to Kibera, I'll get a guy who's getting me that shoe for 800. So it depends on how desperate you are. The market feeds all and fits all.
Correct.
Feeds all
and eats all, yeah.
Yeah. It feeds and fits, yeah, it's true. So there's this thing I'm calling the market verse. It's a universe of markets. And the plug is the guy who knows how to get you a thing, because you don't want to be inconvenienced. So I sent a plug to go and get me something. But now with TikTok especially and IG, this person wants to show you, they will even show you the panyaruts to where the jeans is bought, to where the sufurias are bought. And if you are staying in a place, you're saying, you just get tired. They even take you with the camera and show you where you. But now, it's a very interesting psychological marketing or sales, whatever, because you look at all those things, you say, hey, I am already tired getting there. Let me just tell this lady or this jama to get me that thing.
So they're actually playing around with your psychology.
They might not even know they're doing that.
Yeah.
But you see, so we have people right now who have taken those spaces. So that's why I call them the Plugfluencer. So it's a plug and influencer. And is an archetype of the market right now. And I call them they are market rebels. They are rebels. Do you know why they are rebels? Because they have bypassed the gatekeepers. Because initially they used to be gatekeepers. Then plugs came in. So how do they bring you? They tell you've been buying this thing for 5K. Let me show you a place where you'll buy it for 1,500. So they're just telling you, I have bypassed the gatekeeper.
Gatekeepers, yeah.
Now brought you this thing for cheap. But now you who is sitting in your house, you're thinking, I have no time to go that direction. So in a sense, we now even turn the plugs into gatekeepers.
Unknowingly.
Yeah, because of convenience.
Yeah, the name of convenience, I agree with you.
They're not selling you a spoon. They're not selling you a jiko. They're not selling you a blanket. They're selling you convenience. Convenience is the product. Okay, so I went online a bit, and there are many. So you have all of us, the famous one, Shikohi style, RNG Plaza, whatever politics you have with them. Me, I was just doing this as a way of social studies.
Yeah.
I checked online again. I saw there's even a plug academy. I didn't even know that, called Niplug.
Wow. What does it teach?
They teach you how to be a plug. I've written the report, Ni.plug. It's an academy of tutors. It's an academy of tutors of wannabe plugs. I even saw a butchery. He's calling himself Gawana things. Greens and Lounge. Yeah. He's telling you, this is the shank, this is the brisket, these are the ribs. You want to be there. This guy knows he knows meat. You want to drive all the way and go there. Yeah. And then He has his pay bill there, or buy goods. You can ask for meat. He'll roast for you. It will be delivered to you. You see that? So he educates, and in educating, he's an authority. He shows himself. This guy knows meat.
Completely, yeah.
So
definitely, he's owned up the space.
Precisely. So they educate, because in that educating, they become authorities.
Yeah.
And then they sell you the convenience. I've written there this Kated Natural. She does real estate.
Kated Natural.
Yeah, Kated Natural here. And then Mansa again. You have Mansa. You have Mansa for real estate. Now real estate is full. But you have those guys who are the leaders. You have the leaders. And all these guys are getting into spaces, creating their jobs and stuff like that. And they're just becoming what I'm calling right now the Plugfluencers. That's where the Plugfluencer and emerging marketplace archetype is coming from. Wow. Yeah, so you can take these guys, put them in a setting, and just study them, and just start saying, this is the way different demographics. In fact, I could easily say, since I'm a Gen X, I could easily say a bigger chunk of younger millennials and Gen Zs are actually in this world, people creating jobs for themselves. Hi, my name is David Paul Mavia, and this is the Squad Report, the School of David Report. The School of David Report revolves around three worlds: the world of spirituality, the world of popular culture, and the world of modern marketplace. In the School of David Report, I have written 8 essays, or 8 micro essays. I have written about OpenAI meets former Apple designer. I have written about personal positioning protocols. I have written about granaries, flash disks, and curating in Africa. I have written about data, ID, and revenue in Kenya. I have written about cultural diplomacy, norms before currency. I have written about podcasts, info knowledge hubs, and I have written about the Plugfluencer. Now, since these are micro essays, they're not very exhaustive. So I decided to invite David Wambura, the Chief Communication Connoisseur of Galaxia, so that he can become my CSBO, which means my Chief Sounding Board Officer, so that I could explain to him about each and every micro essay, what I intended with it, which means the video part of this hard copy are slightly much more longer. This is the hard copy, but we have the digital copy, PDF, which can be obtained by just sending us an email at info.theschoolofdavid@gmail.com. I want to invite you to be part of this journey. I do this document once a month, covering topics from those three worlds: spirituality, pop culture, and modern marketing. While you're at it, please take time just to subscribe to School of David, follow us, and share with somebody who might be interested in these ideas. So see you in all the 8 videos. This is David Paul.